We are Gathering of the Geeks, a podcast and a YouTube show built around the things we as geeks all love. Hashtag we gather on Sundays. Thank you for checking out the one where absolutes never die. I'm one of your hosts, Emmet, and I'm joined by the Ted Lasso and my coach Beard, Chris Evans. Chris, how you doing?
I'm doing. They say Goonies never die also. Is that the thing?
You don't like to say that, though.
I don't like that. Well, I mean,
You
I don't
say
like...
you wish Goonies would die.
No, I don't dislike the movie. I just
Yes,
don't...
you do.
It's just, I don't get it, I guess. I don't know. Monster Squad. That's where it's at.
That's right. I put Never Die in the title tonight. It just always makes me think of James Bond, obviously.
Never die?
Tomorrow Never Dies.
My mind automatically just goes to Goonies Never Die. Even before I saw the movie, it was Goonies Never Die. I don't know. It's just an iconic thing for me.
Sure. Gathering of the Geeks is available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. All you have to do is search for Gathering of the Geeks, and you'll find us right there. What's up, Eric? What's up, Cookie? How you guys doing on this fine Sunday evening? You got your Christmas decorations up here, Chris?
No, but I think I want to. I like the idea of having them up longer than usual.
Yes.
But I also feel like I didn't get to enjoy October enough, to be honest, because I was so busy and had so much going on.
It's still October for you.
Kind of. So I'm still kind of like, I want to watch a horror movie, but I think I told you I need a cleanse. I watched so much horror in the month of October that I have to watch like some kind of Disney movie, or like I need to watch Bambi or something,
or just Christmas movies. Start your jingle all the way. There you go.
I didn't do Jingle. I tried a new one.
Oh,
Jingle. We'll get to Jingle All the Way though. Don't you worry about that now.
Coming next time on
maybe more than once.
Yeah.
That and 8-Bit Christmas. We're getting to those.
Oh man, 8-Bit Christmas. Oh man, so good.
It is. I gotta watch the sequel to A Christmas Story.
The actual sequel?
The actual,
or like the one with Daniel Stern?
No. The one that came out a couple years ago. Nobody wants to watch the one with Daniel Stern. Cookie says Halloween stuff stays up until after Thanksgiving. Exactly. The jack-o'-lanterns are still outside. I don't care what the neighbors say.
So that's too late. You lousy Americans in your late Thanksgiving. Like that's too much. You gotta have. I like having Christmas stuff up for 2 months.
I do too, but I also like Halloween stuff year round. So
it's why do they got to put them so close together, eh?
Yeah, can we have one that starts like at the beginning of the year?
That's true.
Like let's move Halloween. Let's move Halloween to March and celebrate it until November.
Yeah, that's right. It's now a 7-month holiday.
I don't think the holidays in between really matter that much anyway. What are we talking about? St. Patrick's Day? Who cares? Nobody even knows what St. Patrick's Day is. Like
now we're making some sense.
I think we are, yes. I mean, in Halloween Town, it's always Halloween.
That's right.
And that's where Jack is the Pumpkin King. Hey, Phil. Hey, Eddie, who's feeling wicked tonight? I am.
So what'd you get up to the past few weeks, Chris? We took last week off. I was having some internet issues. So what'd you read? What'd you watch?
I actually had a question for you first.
Ooh, lay it on me.
It's Danny DeVito's birthday. What is your favorite Danny DeVito movie?
Okay, so Phil also asked this question today.
I saw your reply. I just want to hear you say it.
Yeah, so he's a tough one for me. So I had to think about him. Like, okay, well, I had to think about movies that he's in that I like. You know, because for me, it's very hard to find a movie that I enjoy a lot where he's the lead. So I love him in LA Confidential. I also love that movie. Oh, there. See, it lasted shorter, maybe longer than you expected there, Chris.
About the same.
Yeah. I think, what was the other one that I said that I liked? LA Confidential and
Renaissance Man.
No. No, it was not.
It was
not. Look it up now. No. Anyway, so yeah, Danny DeVito is not my favorite. I find him a lot of fun. But when I have to think about him as a lead actor where he's the star of the movie, I couldn't find too many movies that were like that. Man on the Moon was the other one, where he plays um, what's his name? Shapiro, like an entertainer guy who's friends with Andy Kaufman.
I forgot he's even in that movie
at the time. So anyway, so I love him as like supporting character. I think he's a very good supporting actor. Much more over what Cookie is talking about here in Twins, where just not for me.
So it's funny because that means the line from Twins is how you feel about him. That line, "I'm the shit that's left over." Okay.
Yes.
Batman Returns.
Yeah, so like that's an easy one, but like it's not my favorite Batman movie. So I don't know. It's hard to. I don't know.
Wesley says it's got to be Matilda or Hercules for me.
Nothing wrong with Matilda too.
Yeah, those are two strong contenders. I cannot argue with either one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Especially Matilda. I love Matilda.
What about you? What's your faves? I didn't see if you commented on.
I did. Yeah. Batman Returns comes to mind because I love his Penguin. I don't really like the movie, but I love him. Yeah. But I'm a huge fan of Throw Mama from the Train.
Ooh, that's a deep one there. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that one. I think it's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like the scene where they read what the student wrote, and it's so stupid because it's it was a screenwriting class or something.
Mm-hmm.
So that was fun. And Owen's mother, of course. Owen doesn't have a friend. It's funny.
Nice. Nice. So yeah, got the accent down there too.
I like to quote that pretty often for no reason. It's something I frequently say. Mm-hmm. Ever see Heist or Deck the Halls? I have sat through Deck the Halls more times than I care to admit. Heist sounds familiar. What is Heist?
Is that the one with Edward Norton and Marlon Brando and like Robert De Niro? Is that what that one is?
Isn't that like they switch places or something? That movie? Am I thinking of something else or making this up?
Okay, so there's another heist movie that's got Robert De Niro and Dave Bautista in it. But
dude loves stealing stuff.
Yeah. Zeddy will have to fill us in which one he's talking about.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
There's another one from 2001. Oh, this one's got Gene Hackman in it. I haven't seen that one.
With Danny DeVito?
Yeah.
Dude gets around.
He does get around. I haven't seen that one.
Oh.
And no Deck the Halls for me. So.
Oh, you're missing out on a Christmas classic.
No, I'm sure. I've missed and gladly missed out on a bunch of Christmas classics.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Christmas movies here, and I'm going to break some hearts, I think. Anyway, though, as far as comics go, I didn't read a ton of stuff. I really just stuck to DC in the Absolute line because I'm kind of in love with it right now.
That's not a bad thing.
No, but I'm all... It's funny, DC's thing is all in. I'm actually all in on the books, too. I read Absolute Superman #1, and I was very impressed by it. It's not my favorite of the three, though, but that's fine. I think it's still really good. It tries to do something new with Superman, which I think writers don't really try that anymore. They just kind of stick with one idea of him, and they twist it a little bit, but it's still just the same thing. Whereas this, I think I don't want to use the word grounds, but it does something to the character that I think is really cool, where it makes Superman really just your average Joe.
Right. Man of the people.
Yeah, really is a man of the people now, and it goes back to his actual origin, which is very different.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a little surprise at the end of that origin. So I like that a lot. I like the art in it. I really think the idea of the suit, I don't know if it's AI or what it is, but it talks to him. It can like power up, power down. That's neat.
Yeah.
I like the gauntlets that glow, even though I don't know what they do. They just look pretty. And then the overall like story that you're presented here, Superman is like a nomad going from place to place, just trying to help out. I like it.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I like it too. This one would surprise me a lot. Mostly the stuff on Krypton with Jor-El and the mining aspect of it. So it took me a read or 2 reads just to really get accustomed to the story. And that's true for all of the absolutes so far. When you go in and you think that you know a character and you know the origin, and we often say we don't need to see more origins because at a certain point we get it. But these ones, the showing of Superman's origin, and you see some of Batman's origin in flashbacks with the zoo and all that kind of stuff, with Tiny Bruce and his dad. Anyway, so with Superman, it just took me a while to get used to this aspect of who this Superman was. But then I think, like you said, like this grounded nature to him, and this everyman aspect to him, and the nomad, like you said, it's just there's a lot of cool ideas, I think, in this first issue that makes the further issues going to be really interesting. And like you said, by the ending, you're like, okay, well, where the hell is this going to go now? Everything you think you know about the character in all of these absolutes, but in Superman, is getting turned right on its head. In general, it's for me, it's for the better or for the good. So I'm really interested to see what happens in the next absolute, and just seeing where they go with more of the backstory. See if we get to see more of Jor-El, or if that's it, or how they're going to continue the story. But I really enjoyed the first absolute, number 1 from Superman.
My only thing is that I think they spent too much time on Krypton in the first issue.
Sure.
Because you don't get a lot of Superman. Whereas in the other 2 absolute books, Batman and Wonder Woman, we get a lot of the title character still.
Mm-hmm.
Even if Wonder Woman is a child in hers, we still see it. Whereas here, we don't. We're mostly dealing with Krypton and random people at the mine.
Sure.
So I would have liked more Superman, which I know we're going to get. This was just purely set up, and that's fine. But it did bring the book down just a little bit for
me. Yeah, it's fair.
But it's still good. I think it's really a great read, and it's pretty to look at, which helps.
Yep, I agree. It's 3 for 3 on all the absolute books so far.
Definitely 3 for 3. And then I read Absolute Batman number 2 this week, and to no surprise, this was awesome. We got to see the Batmobile in action, which still I can't really fathom how it works. I don't really get it, but I don't care. It just looks neat. I like where the story is headed. It's going deeper into this party animals thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun. I think that they're introducing some new stuff that is pretty cool. Like the idea that Martha and Jim Gordon know each other well.
Yeah.
That's different. I think there's a hint of something there.
Yeah, I think, especially like she's smoking, and there's something happening there.
Yeah, they got something going on, Mr. Jones there, Mr. Jones. I like that. I like that. Another thing I really enjoy is it's familiar, but it's not the same. Much like Superman, they've added these twists to make it unique, but not in an off-putting way. Not like, oh, this is too different, or this doesn't even make sense in the context of the character. It just works. Like there's that one bit. This might be a spoiler. It might not be. I'm not sure. But when Bruce is playing poker with basically the Rogues Gallery.
Yeah, all his buddies.
And that scene is just so fun, I think, to see him getting along with them and to see the archetypes are there.
Yep.
Ozzy, as they call him, is already doing nefarious things here. Same with Harvey. Harvey is trying to get into the DA's office already. So it's like they're planting these seeds, and then Scott Snyder confirmed earlier they're attached to this book for a couple of years. So good stuff is coming, I'm sure. But number 2 is definitely a hit for me. I really liked it.
I agree. I like the so much of the inclusion of Alfred again.
Oh, that too, yeah.
In this book, it's just that was my biggest surprise and my biggest love of the first issue is just how much Alfred and there was, and who this Alfred is, and everything. And it, for me, I am surprised how much I did like issue 2. Just because of how good issue 1 was for me, and for you, and for so many people. I felt like, okay, they're maybe they put all their eggs in one basket and really put a lot into that first issue just to really get it out the gate. So I was expecting some kind of dip, but I didn't get that at any point. I felt the art was still very good. I felt the story was still very good, and the inclusion of different things with the Batman, what he's doing, how he looks, where he's going, everything just felt like it. What's that?
The caves.
Yeah, the cave. Yeah, his cape and the caves and everything just felt right, and it felt really good. So I was glad that it didn't drop down, it didn't go up. It feels like we're gonna get steadiness from Scott Snyder, and that's not an uncommon thing. With his Batman, early on in his Batman runs, they're always pretty good. Like, and I think we talked about that a while ago, talking about, even just his first 2-3 arcs, like they're consistently, every story is just like one, we talked about that before, but rating, instead of rating everything issue by issue, but rating it as one long story, it feels like that first story arc with the Court of Owls was just a consistent straight line of goodness. And I feel like that's going to be the same thing with this Absolute. It's just, it feels like we're at a certain point with this Batman from Scott Snyder that we're in the world. We get it. This Batman is 600 pounds. He drives a giant tank around as his Batmobile.
It's like a building with wheels.
Exactly. It's a transformer. But it just feels like this is perfect. It just feels good. And yeah, I love this issue. Again, I was interested that from the prologue at the end of the first issue, we didn't get more about that, or too much more about that, which I thought was kind of interesting. Maybe just later on down the line. But
I mean the epilogue.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I feel like that's coming. I'm getting the impression that each book is going to end with some kind of wow moment,
right?
Because this one had it, maybe to a lesser degree, but it was still, oh, that's okay. Got it. I feel like every book is gonna do that. Talk about the Penguin. Oh, we'll get to it. We will get there. Yeah, Batman, Absolute Batman #2 is awesome. I like it a lot. I'm just happy Snyder's back writing Batman, to be honest. His run, in my opinion, is legendary. I love his run.
Yeah. It feels like this could have been anything, like any kind of Batman story. He could have done a straightforward Batman story. He could be, if he was back on the main title, maybe, like and he's not trying to reinvent the character, it still would have felt right in a certain sense. It still would have felt real and good. So yeah, it's just nice to have him back.
Yeah, because I was a big fan of Death Metal. I think he even made that work to mostly anyway. I know it's not beloved, and I get it. It's got some weird stuff. It's extremely long. It gets to a point where it doesn't even make sense anymore. But it's still fun. It's still Snyder. I'll read it.
It goes in so many places.
Places we probably didn't need. Like, why is there a Joker dragon? I will never. It's cool to look at. But did we need it? No.
Yep.
But that's all I read in the last 2 weeks. I'm just back to DC stuff, really.
Nice. Yeah. Speaking of DC, I read Batgirl #1.
Oh, I read that too. You talked about it first.
Oh, you did? Okay, good. What did you think about that?
I bought it. Yeah, so I did actually read it. I thought it was really interesting. I didn't know what to expect when I picked it up, because I saw there was a #1. It's gonna be a new story, and it's Cassandra Cain. I was like, oh, that's different. And it's just a fun, action-packed issue, really.
Yeah, it feels like it's just like action pack is the perfect word to use. It feels like a John Wick kind of story.
It does.
One of the things that I appreciated about it was that Batman wasn't in it. They didn't try and add him to sell a book, or add anything to try and sell a book. Like, it's literally two characters talking to each other and fighting each other, and then towards the end some addition to more people fighting each other, and somehow it just works. And I know nothing about the Cassandra Cain character. From something the little that I knew she didn't talk, but she does talk in this. So I thought that was like, I have no idea. I don't know anything about the Lady Shiva character. So it just I'm all in on this, because I really don't know anything, and this is really helping me with just putting me right at the ground floor and not knowing the characters, and I can just jump right in. So I had a great time with this one. And if you mentioned action packed, I think the issue was also a little smaller. Like it felt there was only 19 pages, maybe under 20 pages.
I think it was just because of the amount of action.
Okay.
There's not a lot of story. It's
Sure.
light. It's a really easy read because there is so much action and the story is there, of course, but it's not deep yet. I'm sure we're getting that, but right now it's pretty light.
Yeah, fair enough. The only other thing that I read was an older-ish comic, not older, from earlier, or it ended this year, just a Black Hammer. The End was the arc in this one. There was a new Black Hammer book that came out this past week called Black Hammer Spiral City, which is kind of the relaunch of Black Hammer again. So I realized that I didn't finish the last arc, which is called Black Hammer The End. So I started reading that, and I big fan, Jeff Lemire, obviously, did that one. But the Black Hammer universe feels like the biggest superhero comic universe that nobody reads and nobody talks about. I've got 3 oversized volumes of Black Hammer right there, and there's at least 2 more not collected in oversized issues. There's spin-offs, there's one-shots, there's subscription only Jeff Lemire subscription only Black Hammer books. It feels like the biggest universe that nobody reads and nobody talks about, but somehow they keep getting made, and I hope I'm not the only one reading them, but I will continue and always will be reading the Black Hammer universe. It's one of my favorite superhero stories. So yeah, just getting caught up on the stuff that I missed, and then hopefully get started on reading the new stuff that's coming out right now.
So it will continue to be Hammer time.
Hammer time, always Hammer time.
Yes.
That's it for my reads over the past little while, Chris. So what about some watches? Open up that letterbox. What do you got?
I will in a second. There's some fun back and forth in the chat here between Phil and Zeddy about Wicked.
Yeah, they've got their own show going on.
They're using Dark Knight puns, and it's pretty fun. I like this one. You either live to see Wicked or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Does that mean you become the Wicked Witch of the West?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you just any villain? I'm just curious. Zeddy saw Wicked tonight, so he's pretty high on it.
Yeah, I couldn't tell.
He's happy with it. I know I'm pretty sure we're getting to it this week, as long as my kid feels better, and we'll get to that.
Nice.
We'll see. As far as the watches go, I watched. I'm all caught up with What We Do in the Shadows. I implore everybody, please watch it. And
Chris on his deathbed. Watch
What
We Do in the Shadows.
Please. Watch that. I watched the Penguin finale, of course. And if I wanted to see incest, I would just watch Game of Thrones. Because I feel like that's what the show boiled down to. Oswald just wanted to date his mom at any cost. And that's what happened. And to get to the top of Gotham, that's what he did, I guess. The top of Gotham's underworld, if he's even at the top, we don't even know. He's probably not. He's the Penguin. He's not going to headline a movie. You're never going to have the Batman versus the Penguin. It's like, that's not going to be the lead in. It's always going to be, oh, yeah, the Penguin's in it. He's a secondary. So, watch that.
Look for Chris's thoughts about the Penguin more on DC Unlimited later this week.
Yeah, I'm sorry in advance, fellas. So those are the 2 shows I watched. Then, just random stuff. Like, I always have like Modern Family or Big Bang Theory on in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Ma, no, that's not Hey Ma. It's not the same now. It's not the same. So on the movie side of things, I watched Batman Begins because I love it. We don't need to get into it. Your Monster. Have you heard of this movie?
We talked about this a few weeks ago.
Okay.
With what's her name? Because what's her name's in it? The girl from the new Scream movies.
Melissa Barrera's in it. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know if there's another what's her name though. I think it's just her. Yeah, just her.
No, just her. I know Jenna Ortega. It would have been the other. Yeah.
Oh, the other.
Yeah.
Okay, no, it's only the one of the what's her names.
Yeah, only one. What's her name? Yeah,
The only
yeah.
one. It's Melissa Barrera. This
Yeah, her.
movie was really surprising because like there was no um promotional material for it at all, as far as
Mm-hmm.
I understand. Like I didn't see a single trailer unless it was online, and even then I didn't watch it because it's just
Mm-hmm.
something I knew. Okay, I'm going to see this,
Mm-hmm.
but I'd never seen a trailer in a theater, on TV, or anything. It went completely under the radar, like they were embarrassed of it. But it's essentially like a Beauty and the Beast type of story,
Mm-hmm.
which I've always thought that's a creepy story to begin with. It's like a comedy, sort of, mostly a comedy. I thought it was very entertaining, and it
Mm.
has this bizarre ending that you kind of see coming as the movie goes along, and then when you get to you're like, oh, I was right. I think that's cool about it. Also, the Beast looks really neat.
Mm.
He looks more human than like I guess the Beast does in the Beauty and the Beast movie. He's not like a full on wolf or whatever the hell that thing is supposed to be.
Sure.
So that was cool.
We're talking
Uh,
practical effects here.
yeah, everything is practical.
Nice.
The movie was also made, like I usually say, like for a couple of Happy Meals, and you could tell.
Yeah, yeah.
And all the money went to the Beast makeup. He's really just a dude with a beard, and he's got like a different nose.
We need the hairiest man possible.
That's
We have
kind
a
of what it
limited
is.
budget.
Very limited. Throw what we can, get some hair pieces, put it on his face, call it a day. Oh, I think he has claws, but they're just like long fingernails.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it does the job. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a really, really fun story. I don't think it's like it's not going to win any awards, of course,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a good time, and that's all that matters to me.
Sure. Not every movie has to win the awards to be good.
No, but speaking of movies that will never win any awards, any awards, if it does, it's a Razzie. If those are even still around, which they shouldn't be.
Mm-hmm.
I sat through Red One, and I have seen worse. Like I'd rather watch Deck the Halls over this, which was
Mm-hmm.
mentioned earlier.
Mm-hmm.
But this movie, I don't ever need to see it again. I wouldn't go as far as to say throw it in a bonfire and set the fire on fire,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not. It was not for me.
Mm-hmm.
There's snowmen that fight on a beach and they
Mm-hmm.
don't melt. Which I'm not looking for logic in this. Don't get me wrong. It's
Yeah, I
just
was gonna
dumb.
say.
It's
Yeah.
just dumb. There's some weird choices. The Rock is there to be The Rock. If
Mm-hmm.
you've seen any movie with Dwayne Johnson, you have seen this movie. I
Right.
promise you. Even if you've seen him on WWE television, you have seen this movie. Chris Evans is there to be a fast talking Boston guy, which is
Mm-hmm.
fine. I enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why J.K. Simmons is in it, and that's my review. Your
When I saw
mileage
the
may vary.
when I saw the trailer for this movie, um, it was one of the worst trailers that I'd seen in a very long time.
Yeah.
Just a lot of it just did not work. Any of the humor that they were showing, I'm fairly certain you see the snowman in that first trailer. And I'm just like, okay, this is not the Christmas movie that I'm looking for. It just everything about it looked bad, and maybe like I'm incredibly sour on the Rock as an actor
Mm-hmm.
right now for a lot of reasons. Mostly my bias towards DC Comics movies and all that kind of stuff. So in general, I'm very down on him as an actor right now. Chris Evans, he's fine. There's nothing wrong with Chris Evans, but um, everything about the trailer and the fact that The Rock was in it made me feel like I don't need to see this movie, and it just did not look like any kind of fun at all. So you poor soul for having to sit through this. I don't know why you chose to do this. You didn't have to,
I do what I do.
but yeah, I don't need to see it. If you like it, great. I hope you continue to like movies
Five 4Ks of it.
Yeah, but yeah, I just this one just I could tell was not going to be for me. For me, just based off the trailer alone, it just didn't do it for me. So I will not be seeing. And you explaining your review for that movie was more than enough.
I didn't even spoil anything. There's
No, you
some
don't
bizarre
need
shit
to.
in this movie. But you know, I didn't like the trailer either. But I saw good reviews for it from like audience members. Like, okay, well,
Sure.
maybe it's one of those movies where there's a critical disconnect.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there is, but that's just me. It's
Sure.
not. You know, if you like I said, if you like it, go buy 4Ks of it. I don't care. It's not for me though.
Nope.
Then last night I watched My Old Ass. Have you heard of this movie?
Yeah. It's got Aubrey Plaza in it.
Yes, Aubrey Plaza's in it, and uh, Macy Stella plays the younger version of Aubrey Plaza.
Mm-hmm.
It's I remember the trailers marketed it as like a full-on comedy, like a fish out of water time travel kind of comedy thing. And that's really not what it is. It's much deeper than that. And it's really I believe the phrase it hits you in the feels because it's really about how life can go wrong and should you try to prevent it, kind of what it is in a way. But it follows the young version of Aubrey Plaza's character, of course, and her dealing with some things in her life at that time. And you have the older Aubrey Plaza, who's not really in the movie a lot, kind of being this voice who just don't do this or stay away from this, and it's just different. It's also takes place in Canada. I know that because when they say sorry, it sounds like the way you do.
It was filmed like a half hour from me right now.
That makes sense.
Yeah, not far away.
It is very Canadian. I didn't know.
What do you mean? What? How do I say sorry? What do you
Like
mean?
that.
That's funny.
But yeah, it's a very I thought it was a very good movie. I enjoyed it. I liked the emotional beats. I thought that they worked really well. And the cast is very, very good in it. Aubrey Plaza, I think, is always like the funny girl in things, but she can actually do more. I didn't know that. This is a good example.
I was going to ask you how she is, because she's always she feels like that, the goofy, best friend of someone in comedy or rom-com movies, but she feels like she has another level because she's really good in The White Lotus season 2. She's really good in Legion. That's got what's his name, Dan Stevens in it. That was on FX. I really like her in that. Yeah, so I feel like she's typecast a little bit, but I think she has more to give.
And this shows that she does. She's really good at, but she's like really hardly in the movie. That's another thing. The trailers make it seem like she's in the movie a lot. She's not.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
She's great in Emily the. Oh, you know, I forgot. I saw that she is great in that movie. I forgot. I have seen that. By the way, hey Ian. But yeah, no, she's pretty good, and I think she has a total of 3 scenes.
Interesting.
And the movie is 90 minutes though, so it's a shorter movie. It really is about young Elliot. The character name is Elliot. Young Elliot and the things she's going through in her life, and it has one of the kids from the Wednesday series. I don't remember his name. Tall, goofy looking, blonde. I think
he goes to the school.
Yeah, he goes to the school. You know if you see him, it's got that guy.
Sure, I got you. He's got he's got that guy too.
Yeah, it's got that. Yeah, but it's a great cast. I like the movie a lot.
Nice.
And it's called My Old Ass, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
Just don't go in thinking it's gonna be like a full on comedy because it's not.
Yeah, that's fair.
There's something more to it. And you will not be happy at the end.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Optimus Prime kills everybody.
Of course he does.
He's brainwashed.
Son of a bitch.
Yes. So that's all I watched.
Ooh, nice. Nothing wrong with that.
Yes.
What did I watch? So last Sunday was the season premiere of season 5, part 2 for Yellowstone. This is the first season, the first episodes after Kevin Costner had left. So it was very interesting to see how they worked that into the story, and they did not hide. I was almost expecting them to hide it a little bit. Maybe he was away or he went on a trip somewhere.
I thought they
He's the
killed him. Is that not what it
Yeah,
is?
indeed they do.
Oh.
I was thinking that like he's the governor of Montana, so I was thinking he'd go away for a trip or whatever. And at the end of the last season, half of the cast go down to Texas to do something. So I'm like, okay, maybe we'll just stay in Texas for a while, and just give Kevin Costner time to, I don't know, something else, die a different way. But they get right into it and make it a focal point of the season, which is also an interesting idea, because I can't recall if they knew that he was going to leave at the end of part 1. And if they didn't know that he was going to leave, I would have liked to see where the story was going to go. Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, it's not like I don't know. It's a major spoiler, but yeah, they don't hide the fact that he's not around anymore.
Is there a way to? Is there a way to bring him back if necessary?
No, he's never coming back.
Oh, so it's like they threw him in a grinder, he's dead, kind of thing.
That's the other thing about it. Like and the way that he left, it's not like a triumphant exit from the show. So it's almost like, oh, you want to leave our show and you don't want to be involved and you want to go do movies? Well, fuck you. How about this? So it's very interesting how it works and how it's going to work throughout the rest of this later half of season 5. And I don't know if there's going to be a season 6. I know they're working on a spin-off series for this actual show, not the old 1923, 1883, and the 600 other Taylor Sheridan TV shows that he's got going on right now. So I don't know if there's another season after this. So it's just going to be interesting how they play it out over this season. But aside from the Kevin Costner side of things, I really like this show. This is probably like the what do you call it? Like a guilty pleasure show? Yeah.
He says, I think they were mad he was leaving lots of drama behind the scenes, I hear. Mm-hmm. Is Kevin Costner a terror behind the scenes? Because he seems like such a nice guy.
Yeah, he wanted to, I think he was very controlling of the show. And then he wanted to leave and go do his movies. That movie
which
that he
worked
did.
Out really well.
Yeah, not so good for him. So I just felt like they were trying to make the show and he wanted to do his own thing. Anyway, so yeah, I feel like this is a guilty pleasure show of mine where, you were talking about logic before when we were talking about snowmen on the beach and then, not melting. So this is like a lot of weird, people die and people commit murder and they never get caught. There's a lot of choices are taken in the show, but I like the idea of it. I like the family aspect of it. I like the, sometimes there's good action. And then, the easiest thing for me is like cowboy shit is very cool. Like it's pretty simple sometimes. Like
put that on a t-shirt. Cowboy shit is very cool.
Like there's scenes in this episode, but even like throughout the whole series of just people. Yeah, exactly.
Cowboy just soap opera.
Exactly. So it like there's scenes that last 10 minutes of 10 people on horses riding and herding cattle, and it's the most beautiful thing you ever seen.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just what it is. Like the way that the show is made, how like they're in Montana, they're in Texas. You can feel it. You can understand it. You can see it, and it's just something about that aspect of the show that's very enjoyable. And then you've got the little pockets of people, little couples and families and friends and controversy and and lots of shit that's going wrong and everything like that. It's just there's a lot of little things in the show that I find very enjoyable, and it's like it's a must watch right away for me, just to see what happens next. And we just finished the Penguin, 8 weeks of that, and I had no problem waiting on the Penguin. I don't want to wait on Yellowstone. Yeah.
Phil says it's a decent show. The new season on Mix. Granted, we're 2 episodes in, but still. Ian says, Emma got me into Yellowstone, and it became one of my faves. Such an enjoyable watch. It says Luke Grimes trying to be Shawn Michaels out here. Who's Luke Grimes?
Why is he trying to be Shawn Michaels? He's Kevin Costner's son.
Oh, is it Wes Bentley?
Show. No, it's Wes Bentley's brother.
Is Wes Bentley still alive?
Wes Bentley is still alive, and he is the villain of the season.
Oh, I see. Maybe I need to watch this then. I love Wes Bentley. I think we've been over this.
We have been over this. Yeah.
He's really the reason I want to watch it.
Yeah. Just about Phil's comment there about the season being mixed, and I think a lot of that has to do with the writing of the show being okay. Like, well, he's not going to be in it anymore, so we have to go in a completely different direction for the show. And I wonder if that where some of it's just getting, you're getting some slips or anything like that. I haven't seen the second episode yet. It just came out today, I think. So I'll be watching it after the show or tomorrow. So I'll let you know next week about that. But yeah, I just really like the show. And like Cookie said, it's a cowboy soap opera that I just enjoy wholeheartedly.
It's interesting, the idea that there's a cowboy soap opera.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess a soap opera can be it doesn't need to be, Days of Our Lives, I suppose. Because technically, like WWE wrestling, it's a soap opera. It's an athletic soap opera. There's like Dark Shadows, which was a vampire soap opera. It is interesting that soap operas, because when you think soap operas, or what I do, I think like Days of Our Lives and General Hospital, things like that. It's just funny to see it put like that. See you later, Zeddy.
See you, Zebert. It's also an incredibly popular show too.
I see so many Yellowstone hats and shit. People love it out here.
Yeah, 16 million viewers tuned in across multiple networks and airings on Sunday night to watch the show. It's one of the most watched shows that's out right now, and yeah, just crazy. And I think this is the highest number that they've had. So season 5 premiere, which is in November 2022, 15.9 million viewers watched, and it was 16.4 for part 2. So it's a huge show. Huge show.
5 seasons?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm never going to catch up with this thing.
Well, you should have been catching up after the end of part 1. Yeah, that was 2 years ago.
I probably should have. Here we are.
Yeah. And here we are.
I did rewatch Ted Lasso season 1 recently.
Just because?
Just because.
Nice.
It's a joy.
Yeah, nothing wrong with it.
Lasso is life. Ian says the best thing on TV right now, and probably sure is Arcane. Have you watched any of this? Ian always talks about it, and it makes me want to watch it.
I feel like I've watched it. Yeah, I feel like I've watched it because Ian doesn't stop talking about it. I feel like that's when I've seen it.
But everybody loves this show. Like, I see nothing but praise for Arcane.
I don't even know what it is.
I want to say it's based on a game, but I also don't want Ian to slap me through the screen if I'm wrong on that.
Let's just talk very slowly.
I think we are getting.
Yeah. Let's see where we can go with this.
Yellowstone, they go faster, short seasons. How many episodes per season? There's like 8.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know how right she is about that, but I'm just gonna.
Oh, it is based on a game. Okay, I was right. Yeah, I can say I'll watch it, and I might soon, at some point. 8 to 10. Okay,
so there's 11 episodes in season 4. Yeah, so just like a premiere streaming show, under 15. Yep.
I could catch up with that at some point. Maybe when I catch up on Superman and Lois. I'm a few episodes behind.
Oh my god. You got no time, Chris. No time.
I do have time. I just don't use it wisely.
I should really be watching something right now. Nope, not gonna happen.
Now I can doom scroll. I could do something else. Stare at the wall. Lately, I just want to stare at the wall in silence.
I get it.
Ian says it's a fantasy animated TV show, the most expensive animated show ever made. Great characters, unique story, and world full of heart. That's not Yellowstone. That's Arcane. Took me a second. And I think that's a fairly short show because the episodes are like 20 minutes. You could probably drill through that.
Nice. And the one movie I really want to talk about that I watched this week was The Gentleman. Directed by Guy Ritchie. It's got Colin Farrell, Charlie Hunnam, Matthew McConaughey, all that good stuff. I can't remember why I didn't get to this one as it came out, because maybe I was on I don't know, Matthew McConaughey, and I don't know why. Anyways, it's awfully funny. Yeah, I do like Guy Ritchie, but maybe it's just because I didn't like Aladdin and King Arthur.
I was saying, is Aladdin a character?
Yeah. Anyway, so it's funny that the start of The Gentleman has Matthew McConaughey in a bar talking like Matthew McConaughey does in his Lincoln commercials, which I thought was very funny considering the next moment you think that he gets shot in the head and dies, and I'm like, oh, that's perfect. If I like, and that's what I thought. I'm like, okay, they're making a joke of who Matthew McConaughey is, and then they're going to kill him, and I'm like, oh, that's very funny. I hope that happens, and it doesn't, which is totally fine because I love The Gentleman. It's great in every aspect. It's funny. I like the way the story is told, how kind of unconventional it is and I didn't know anything about this movie. I didn't know. I knew that Hugh Grant was in it, but I didn't know that he told the whole story to Charlie Hunnam's character, and we went back and forth. So I thought that was a very interesting way of doing it. I like the action in it. Colin Farrell, who, has become maybe my favorite actor ever in the past 3 or 4 years. In everything that I see him in, he's just incredible. And in this, he's so funny. Like I liked him before, but we talked about this. I always used to think of him as just like an action, star goofball.
Yeah, he is.
But now he's so much more. And I think he's literally one of my favorite actors ever right now. I know we're just getting done with The Penguin, where he's incredible as the Penguin, but he's so funny in this. I love his outfits. I want to look like him. I want to wear, Chris, do you think you could pull off the full, the sweatpants and the zipper? What do you call it? What do you call what he's wearing? Like warm-up suit? Tracksuit. Do you think you could pull off a tracksuit like Colin Farrell?
I kind of did. I don't know if I pulled it off, but I wore it the other day. I was lazy.
Did you? I'd love to try and wear a tracksuit.
I think I'd like to. I would try it too. It might be fun to run around in. Might be okay. It looks comfortable.
Yeah, that's what he's very comfortable in his shoes. That Colin Farrell.
Yeah, he has cool sneakers. I just wear Converse, so I think that would probably not work with that outfit.
Do you wear the Newsy hat too? You think you could pull that off?
Probably not. We'll stick with one of the many hats I own.
So it makes me want to watch the Gentleman TV show that's on
Yeah,
Netflix now. That's got what's his name in it? His name's Toby. Is it Toby? I don't know.
Toby Stevens.
Theo is his name.
Theo Stevens.
Theo James.
Oh, I thought it was the guy that played Doctor Doom in the really bad Fantastic Four movie. His name is like Toby something.
Yeah. So it makes me want to watch the TV show now to see what it's like. See if the quality stays up. I think it's got Guy Ritchie behind it, so I hope that it does. So big fan of The Gentleman. Great movie, and I'm looking forward to maybe checking out the show over the next little while as well.
I love The Gentleman. It was one of my favorite movies that year when it came out.
It feels like did it miss something, or did it get blended in with something, and I just missed it?
I feel like Guy Ritchie's movies do blend in. They're just those kind of films are not gigantic. And this being a very English film.
Indeed.
It's not going to be a big deal here because a lot of people just kind of skip those, I feel. But I happen to love Guy Ritchie, so I was in for him. And then Colin Farrell and Hugh Grant were also in it, so I was, sold. But I love the movie, and I do want to watch the series as well, but I keep forgetting it exists. It has a good cast too. It has some familiar names on there. But yeah, Gentleman's awesome. I think they're making a sequel, if I read that correctly.
Oh yeah, I'd watch that.
I'd watch another one. I'd also watch Hugh Grant explain the story again because it was fun.
Yeah, that was so interesting, and like it's again what you think of who Hugh Grant is.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's funny to see him like this. And you watched whatchamacallit? Heretic, and again the anti Hugh Grant is always a fun thing.
It is wonderful. I love this era of Hugh Grant. Give me more. I actually want a Heretic prequel, but
oh yeah,
but that's neither here nor there, and it probably won't happen.
Yeah.
Ian says, I saw Gladiator 2 last night. Not a bad movie, but pretty disappointing. I'd rewatch the original the day before, which is on a completely different level. I have not seen much about Gladiator 2. I haven't even watched the trailers because I keep hearing they like put everything in the trailer. So I haven't messed with it, but I will get around to it. I'd really rather go see Y2K or Anora or A Real Pain. Basically anything except that, kind of.
Y2K.
Yeah, not because I don't want to see it. I'm just not in a hurry to see it, if that makes sense. There's other things I'd rather see. The Outrun is an excellent movie. I want to pretend I know how to pronounce her name, but I don't.
Saoirse.
Saoirse. The lady deserves the Best Actress nomination for that one. Also, Magpie with Daisy Ridley is also really good. Has a pretty cool twist. Is Magpie streaming? Because I did want to watch that. I think I saw you talk about it and someone else. I want to watch Magpie. Anyone watching Silo? Second season started, trying to avoid book spoilers because the mystery element has me hooked. I have not seen an episode of Silo, and I want to, but I probably won't.
I tried. I got 2 episodes and couldn't do her.
I heard it's really good. It looks like something I would enjoy.
Who built that silo? It's supposed to be a thing. That's the
Ted
big
Lasso.
question everybody asks. Yeah, Ted Lasso.
It's on Apple, so Ted Lasso.
That's right.
Or the people from the what was the show with the slot machine that magically appeared? What was it called?
Slot machine magically appeared.
Yeah. So you didn't watch? I forgot what it was called. Grabs told me about it a while ago. I think him and Steve both watched it, and then I watched it. It was really good, but I can't remember the name of it. Yeah, it's on Apple. Or maybe it's not a slot machine. No, it was like this machine where, like a Zoltar machine kind of thing, maybe. I don't know.
Zoltar.
I have no idea what I'm talking about, but it was a machine that tells them something. It's been a while. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
It was good. If I could remember a detail that was worth mentioning, I would. But a machine of some sort. It's not a gumball machine, but it appears in this small town, and anybody who messes with the machine, they get like the big door prize. Thank you, Ian. They get this. Okay. They're told what they would be in life, what they should have been. I forgot how it works, and it changes everything. Something like that.
Interesting.
Yes, big door prize. Ian is correct. I am on a Red Bull rant, so take that for what you
will. That's all that I watched this week, Chris. Anything that you're looking forward to, or what are you up to this week? What are you going to see this week?
Wicked, of course. I would like to get to Anora or A Real Pain if I can. And I really want to watch that Transformers animated movie. It's on Paramount Plus now.
Oh yeah, get to that for sure.
Yeah, that's kind of the priority for this week, and we'll go from there. How about you?
Yeah, I don't know about watches. I don't know. Maybe get on The Gentleman, see about that. But I don't know if there's any movies that I really want to get to that are new to streaming. I can't recall if there is. A couple books I want to read this week, though. Wonder Woman 15 comes out. We got Batman and Mr. Werewolf. Number 2 is out. Full Moon. What did we call it? What is it? Bark at the Moon?
That's what I kept calling
it. Batman Bark at the Moon. And Batman and Robin Year 1, number 2. is out this week as well. So a couple books that I want to get to this week. I'm not sure too much about watching anything though. Nothing really scratching an itch that I need to get to at the moment.
Why not I'm in for 2 of those 3 books? The 2 Batman books.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. I think there's something from Marvel I want to read too. I might catch up on the Wolverine stuff over there.
There is Wolverine number 3.
Yes. So I need to catch up on the Wolverine stuff.
He's saying I want to get to that Predator and Black Panther book too. We'll see about that. I'm not sure. It's too much sometimes.
Did you see the behind the scenes of the new Predator movie? The photo they put out there?
I saw a picture, but only of the director.
Yeah, like the first still was like, it's not of the movie, it's the director in the back of a Predator's head.
Yeah, I heard that he's the protagonist. That's what I hear.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder why. I want to know what they're doing with that. I'm interested though.
Is this taking place in present day? Do you know?
I thought this is the one in the future.
I really don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Ian's gonna read G.I. Joe. Oh, there's new G.I. Joe book. Is that a? Who's writing that?
I'm gonna find it here.
I bet it's Daniel Warren Johnson.
Don't think it's that G.I. Joe. No, I don't think it is Daniel Warren Johnson.
To me, that would just make sense. Sad Joes.
Sad Joes.
Yeah, like the opening page is the main Joe getting decapitated or something.
So that was from last week, and Joshua Williamson was the one who wrote that one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, not Sad Joes.
Yes. Thanks, Ian.
No Sad Joes here.
No Happy Sad Joes. All right.
Maybe Sloppy Joes.
All right, Chris, where can people find you? Where can they hear more of you talk so glowingly about the Penguin on DC Unlimited?
I don't know if they want that. You guys can follow me on Twitter at thatchris70. I do have a Blue Sky. I might use it. It's that Chris Evans at Blue Sky, whatever the hell it is. You can also follow the show I do with my buddies, Bill Walsh and Anthony Crusoe, over at DC Unlimited Pod. I would love it if you would follow this show at G of the Geeks. Emmet is better with the rest of the plugs, so he will go ahead and take over.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at EmmettDavis7, Gathering of the Geeks. It's available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. All you have to do is type in Gathering of the Geeks, and you will find us right there. Thanks to Cookie, Eric, Ian, Phil, and Zeddy. We appreciate you guys coming on every Sunday and talking with us and sharing what you guys have been up to. We really appreciate it. Chris, are we doing a show next weekend?
Huh?
Thanksgiving.
Next weekend?
That next weekend? Is it Thanksgiving next weekend for you guys?
I think it's the 28th. Isn't it?
I don't know. 28th Thursday.
That'd be Thanksgiving.
All right. So no need to worry about
it. Yeah, ours is on Thursdays.
Yeah, it's on Thursdays, middle of the week, whatever. All right. So we'll see you guys next weekend. So in saying all that, for Chris and I'm Emmet, and we gather on Sundays.
End of session.